Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io, but it's finished, so you can still get it for free. But if you want to help these people make other games, or just to support the creators, then you can go to Patreon. There's $3 a month to get other games earlier. So, now in the last Let's Play, we woke up in the middle of the night while walking in our sleep. Never mind. And then, yeah, both of us went down to the basement because we heard a metal scratching sound. Okay, you could kind of hear that, I think. And it turned out to be nothing, maybe? Or maybe a blonde tarantula. Who knows? And then went back to sleep. The next day came, and it's a surprise party. And Carl really seems to be down. Though, hopefully, we didn't choose poorly. I completely forgot to look whether or not we chose the bad route. So let me just put this right here. Route Echo. So that, at some point, we can maybe check at least where that thing might be. I don't know. But, yeah, and he just seemed down and kind of like I am when I've drunk a lot and you're just like depressed and anxious. Whatever. He went away from the other people and we came to come after him. Or, yeah. You set face? And begin. I'm not sure why the deck is the first place I look, but it's where I find him. I watch him through the paneled curtains for a moment. He's sitting on a little swing set facing out towards a glaring, bright desert. There's an empty plate with a fork on it next to him. He's also toying with the lighter Flynn gave him, flipping it open and closed a few times, and holding it up to the light. Smoke wafts up from his lap, where I assume he's holding a joint. Quietly, I slide open the glass door and step out onto the wooden balcony. The deck is, of course, nice and big, stretching around half the house. I see Carl's long ears twitch at the sound, and he lowers the lighter down into his lap, but doesn't turn around. Hey. He doesn't turn around. No, wait, he does turn around, then smiles. Shit. I thought you were Leo or something. Would that have been a bad thing? I look around, then decide to sit next to him on the swing. Oh, it must be one of those, larger wooden swings? God, I miss that train sound. He just had pulled me back to the party. I look over at him. He's looking down his lighter, turning it over, and in his paws. The hoof portions of his fingers making clacking sounds against the metal. It's weird thinking of, furries that have at the end of their fingertips tiny hooves. But I guess it do be like that. Sometimes. Those things always fascinate me. It seemed like it should make holding things more difficult, but he managed just fine. Are you okay? Carl huffs out a chuckle and leans back his head against the cushioned back seat. Let me guess, he's so good right now. That's a great question. Everyone's always asking me. You just seem really uptight, is all. Carl's demeanor is a lot more relaxed now, obviously. As if to emphasize that, he takes another hit off his joint and holds his breath for a moment, then lets it out. The pungent smell envelops me. I just don't like being around so many people. You know that. Well, yeah, but you were fine around them these past few days. Carl rubs his forehead hard with a paw holding the joint, using his palm. Yeah, well, things weren't about me then. Just felt a bit put on the spot. He coughs. That shit just gets me nervous. Can't we just hang out and not make it about me? I don't say anything, annoyed again that I just can't grasp what he means. Okay, here's the thing. You make a skin sona. It will make you just put on that mask and it works, I guess. Am I making you nervous? Carl finally does look at me. Then, his massive horns swaying towards me. Wait, his massive horns. Wait. Finally does then look at me, then his massive horns swaying toward... I don't know. No, you never do, Chase. I do look away at that point, almost feeling self-conscious at the way he opened up to me. And thanks for trying to get me to talk earlier. Just makes me feel guilty though. The way people try and include me in things, and then I just disappoint them. But you just don't really force me into shit. Everyone feels like I need to do something. Why can't I just decide that for myself? I push against the ground, making the sway a little, trying to think of the right thing to say. I mean, it's good to do stuff, right? You can't just sit around doing nothing forever. I guess. It's just that I worry enough about myself. I don't need other people doing it for me. Yeah, me, I'm worrying a lot right now. Because I got a job offer. The pay's really good. But proportionately to the amount of work, no. And it's like, flip, what do I do now? I lean back in the swing for a bit, looking out over the desert. Man, I'm hungry. I wish I brought more cake with me. Not enough incentive to go back in? Not yet. I could get you some. He smirks at me. You're one of those fat fetishists, just feeding me garbage so my moobs get bigger. Damn, why do you have to call me out, man? Shit. You don't have moobs. I felt them. Yeah, can't keep your paws off me. You have a thing for my fat ass? I look him over, as if studying his figure, then down to his bulgy wogey. Hey! He covers his chest. Well, I do actually like bigger guys, like Leo, and there's nothing wrong with a little extra weight, especially if it's carried well. He looks at me expectantly. Which you do. Sweet. You know, you seem like you'd be a pretty dope boyfriend. Just feed me cake all day, then get off on the results. I'm about to shoot back with something snarky when I pop an erection. When a stumbling figure catches my eye. Out of the sun-baked asphalt of the road in front of Carl's house, I see a figure. A weasel, I think, running up the road. I think that's like, what? Cliff's Duke, that's it. But wouldn't that be after what's-his-name confronts him? Did Leo leave? He stops, panting, paws on his knees, before he looks over his shoulder again. His whole body slumps. Then, like the air's gone out of him. Like he's given up on something. I know that feeling. He turns around to look back up the road. He's far away, but even from here, I can tell that he's talking. Carl looks over at my silence, then down at the road where I'm looking. Is that Duke? Yeah, that's him. Must be on something. He usually is. Duke finally turns around and starts to cower, his paws up in surrender. His lips are still moving rapidly. Reminds me of someone who's trying to say as much as they can before something cuts them off. What do you think? I trail off as Duke suddenly whips his head around, to look up at us, then starts pointing up at our balcony. Oh, let's hope the doors are locked. Carl's chuckling, obviously find the whole thing hilarious, but I'm a bit more on edge. It is kind of weird that he's making a joke even though he's on edge though I guess he's high. I don't really feel like he's high. Duke's movements are a lot more focused, more precise, like he's all there. And for some reason, it feels like he's looking directly at me, because he is. I furrow my brow, watching it as the weasel turns towards us, sticking a foot out to take a step. The sound of sliding glass door wrenching open nearly makes me jump out of my skin. What the hell are you guys doing? Jenna marches around the swing set to stand in front of us, paws on her hips. Whoa, what's up, Jenna? Carl leans back on the swing, elbows over the back, the back smiling. The fox's eyes narrow as she sees the joint. Did you forget whose party this is for? Carl shrugs, then rubs his forehead again. Leo, I'm guessing? No, we spent all day yesterday getting this ready for you. Leo especially. Now get back downstairs and have your party. I mean, on the one hand, it's like, yeah, they arranged a party for him, but also on the other hand, it's like, yeah, he has anxiety or something like that, and this just kind of came out of nowhere, kind of thing. Like, way out of nowhere. I don't know. Carl sits quietly for a moment, then glances at me. No, I don't think it will. He's not smiling anymore. His face expressionless, head turned back towards Jenna, but his eyes are wandering off towards the side, looking at the sky. Why not? Because I didn't fucking ask for it. I pretend to look at my phone. What, a party? I'm so sorry. We're trying to be thoughtful. Carl, maybe we should just forget you next time, huh? Jenna, it's okay. We're just hanging out. She ignores me. I see the skin inside of Carl's ears and around his nose turn red. Again, it's one of those sentences where it's like, it doesn't make sense until you read the whole thing. Since he was a kid, Carl didn't deal well with conflict, usually running away the first chance he got. No, this is for Leo. I just don't understand why we couldn't do something that didn't involve... Sorry, Carl, but that's life. Now you gotta enjoy this party, or else we have conflict music going. Sometimes you have to come out of your room. Sometimes you have to be the center of attention, and sometimes, God forbid, you have to talk to people. Well, what if I just want to stay up here and hide? Who gives a fuck? I mean, you have to do something in life, I guess. Like some kind of production. Look on Jenna's face is approaching contempt. Are you kidding me? This is difficult for you? Jenna. Again, she ignores me. I might as well be talking to a statue. Or maybe I'm the statue that she isn't paying attention to. I feel like something must have happened downstairs. This isn't like her. You never realized how good you have it, Carl. If you even had a taste of what I went through. True. Because, all of her family's drug addicts. I can practically feel the heat radiating off Carl's body. He looks down at his lap. Are you blaming me for that? His voice breaks. We all have problems. Some easier than others. Carl glares at her, trying to be angry, but I can tell it's not working. You don't know what kind of shit I have to deal with. Like being rich? No, it's like myself. Oh, how terrible. The one thing you have full control over. No, that's not so fucking unfair. Wait, that's so fucking unfair. The quiver in Carl's voice doesn't exactly sound convincing, and the pot doesn't seem to be helping, as I can see his fingers shaking. Just like life. Carl's face is bewildered. What the fuck did I do, Jenna? Did I see something wrong earlier? Out of habit, she lifts the joint to his muzzle. He lifts the joint to his muzzle with his shaking fingers, but then flinches as Jenna steps forward. I guess he thought she was gonna slap him or something, but instead she just reaches forward and plucks a joint from his grasp, right before flicking it back into his face. It hits his nose, and Carl flinches again. Without a word, Jenna spins on her heel and opens the door, even harder than she did the first time. I'm stunned. I haven't seen Jenna that angry since she was in middle school, and definitely never at Carl. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but wasn't she bullied and like people were like she's a slut or something like that? in Jenna's route, and it was the cat girl that was trying to flood the city, or not city, town, village. Carl doesn't say anything, instead rubbing at his nose, leaned back in his seat. The insides of his ears are still flushed a deep red. What the fuck was that? I don't know. Something must have happened. That wasn't Jenna. I'll ask Leo about it later. I didn't do anything, did I? I shrug. No words come to mind. We sit there in silence for a while, listening to the train horns. Looking down, I see the joint still smoking up from the planks of the floor. Slowly, I lean over and pick it up before holding it out to Carl. He takes it and looks at it for a second. Raising his paw, he pauses, then takes a drag before flicking it off the side of the balcony. He lets his head sag, big horns dipping forwards towards the floor as he closes his eyes. Slowly, I put an arm around his shoulders. He leans into me and doesn't pull away. So, it's over with Leo, huh? Carl waves his controller around, like he's gonna help him avoid the 3-strike throw, almost knocking over his beer bottle. It's 3-spike throw? My 3-spike throw. It hits him anyway, and he gives a little grunt of annoyance. I grin and consider letting up on him because he's clearly drunk. You know that feeling. Seems that way. He hasn't really talked to me much since I got here. I leave out the part that's probably my fault. Carl lets out a weird, sound as I punch his character, as if he were the one getting punched instead. Well, that sucks. Does it suck? He's looking intently at the screen. Still, I get the feeling he's not paying full attention because it's getting easier and easier to nail his character with combos. I don't really know yet. It's been 3 years. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet? Takes that long to kick in for you? When Tanya dumped me, it felt like I couldn't get out of bed for a week. Oh god. I remember that. Back in high school, when we were both 16. Man. Well, I was gonna say like, wow, that seems pretty young, but then I was like, well, I actually was dating a girl when I was in high school. I'm not sure when we started, but it, like, maybe 11th or 12th grade? Granted, it was a long-distance relationship and stuff like that, but anyways. Did she get you into pot? Carl lets out a snort again, as I flip kick his demon character in the chin. Yep, and thanks Satan for it. I don't know how else I would have gone over her. Anyway, not to be a dick, but you're better for it. Yeah. He surprised me with a spin kick that sends my Angel Wolf character flying across the screen. I focus back on the game and throw a barrage of punches into the demon character's face, sending blood splattering into the screen. Oh? Well, you know, it's just hard to talk to you and Leo when you guys are being all lovey-dovey and shit. His words are mushy, starting to bleed into one another. His character throws a flaming spear at my angel, which I easily deflect with my shimmering shield. I extend my wings and swoop in to throw my lightning bolts. Well, you know, no one really tried to talk to us when we were together. It was like we were making you guys uncomfortable. I watch his demon fly in the air, surrounded by a glowing white circle. Looking over, I see Carl frowning. No, I didn't think so. The demon spreads his own much spikier wings and hovers up from the circle. He reaches up into the sky, and the red lightning bolt slams down onto my character. You guys were just kind of self-absorbed. You didn't call me once after you guys started dating. I know that feeling, not so much like, hey, people change when they're dating, but kind of like, hey, I have to be the one that has to instigate a lot of things. Like, the amount of people that I can think of that start conversations are... At this point in time, one. Unless we're talking about every other week, then it's 2. It's like, okay. And here I was thinking, Carl never liked conflict. That sentence carried a lot of weight, and a lot of views behind it. I'm not about to argue with him, though, especially after what happened with Jenna. That lightning bolt was it for my wolf angel, and his demon fires up the screen and flips us off. A winner is displayed. Well, there was college. Carl stretches, leaning back with a giant beanbag chair he was sitting on. I don't remember much of college anymore. He lays back on the chair and looks over at me. By the way, I have a job interview on Friday. My eyes widen. Don't act so surprised, asshole. He hangs on the last words with a lisp. You're drunk, but that's awesome. Where at? A print shop. Be a production assistant. Oh, that sounds decent. Yeah, parents told me they'd buy me a car to get there. It's in pain, of course. You know what they should also buy you? Or rent? An apartment or a house or something like that. So you don't have to drive to fucking Peyton every day. Because A, that's probably a good, decent drive. Like, let's just say 30 minutes. Like, I'm just putting it low, but if it was like any other place here, like, I guess like when I was in West Texas, it was like maybe 30 minutes to the next town, but it was a lot of nothing at least. But still, it's like, it could be an hour before getting to the next city sometimes. Like, going north instead of west. But, what was I gonna say? Also, why are we here in, like, Echo? Why would a rich family stay in Echo? But anyway, Flynn told me he'd give me a ride to the interview, but since you're here, it gives me a lazy sidelong glance. While I usually wouldn't have an issue with it, the thought of how hard I've been procrastinating my school project is starting to make my stomach turn. It is kind of weird how this game's like, we're coming here for a school project, and that completely goes out the window like the second day. Except for in this route, I guess. But hey, how often will I get to hang out with Carl when the break's over? I'd love to take you. You know, we were gonna go out and do stuff tomorrow. Why don't we, change your look? Get you new clothes or something for your interview? He keeps smiling. Sounds great. So, what's it like, kissing a dude? Well, I'll show you. I let out a surprised laugh. What? You know, is it like more? He swings his paws uselessly in the air. Well, Chase would have to kiss a girl, but then also it's kind of like he's, well, in this route he's bi, but it's like, a guy kissing a girl, if he's straight, is different from him kissing a guy, and then a gay guy kissing a guy, and you know what I mean. I don't know. You kiss a girl, right? Samantha, right? I think so, but that was like in 7th grade. So, was it different? I laugh at him again. Pretty sure it's just like kissing a girl, man. You sure? I mean, I guess with guys it's like, with girls you might be more dominant, but then with guys they could be more dominant. Ooh. I feel like kissing different species would be even more different. Yeah. Maybe. I've always sort of wanted to know what it's like. But didn't you have sexual relations with... Uh-oh. The music stopped. Did you have sexual relations with, Flynn? I mean, maybe it's a hand job or normal, but it's like, is this game gonna do the thing that's in furry visual novels and stuff where it's like, yeah, they go full anal, but they never smooch? He says it slowly, deliberately, trying not to trip over his words. Yeah? I say even slower, because I think I know what Carl's getting at. I can see how guys can be sexy. Carl, are you coming on to me? He rolls over onto his stomach, facing me fully now. That's like a good question. Maybe we can answer it? I'm a little buzzed, but not drunk. Are you asking if you can kiss me? He gazes at me lazily through lidded eyes, looking about ready to fall asleep. Only if you want. I've been asked to be the experiment of a few guys in the past, in college, and I'd always say no. But Carl? I mean, I guess maybe Carl's different, but also he's drunk. Though again, I might go through this thing and be like, okay. Like, here's the thing. Don't take advantage of people. Like, I smirk at him. Carl, you're drunk. No, I'm not. He bursts into giggles even before he finishes the sentence. The ram then decides to roll over, directly onto my chest. I let out a quiet trying to push him off my more sensitive areas. Fortunately, he seems to get the hint and props himself up on his elbows. Then, tell you what, if you ask me again in the morning, sober, I'll say yes. Oh, come on. Oh, is this gonna be the picture? Okay. I'm about to chide him some more, but that's when he starts snoring. I smile some, peering down at Carl. This is actually pretty comfortable. Maybe I'm just touch-starved or something. I know that feeling. Whatever it is, I'm left with some slight bittersweetness as I remind myself Carl probably hasn't had the courage to do this sober. Whether he's just messing around or not, this is nice, watching his large chest rise and fall. Slowly, the dim lights of Carl's room fade out as I fall asleep into his comforting, rhythmic snores. Why are the lights dim? Stop! I heave for breath as I chase TJ down the dusty street, trying not to pop the water balloon that I'm holding in my claws. You always chase me! TJ's whining again, but I don't care. He's always the funniest one to hit. His crazy speed made it all the more rewarding. Even though he's a grade lower, he could outrun me easily. I can still keep up with him, though since he's running around houses and mailbox. My 4th grade brain is easily able to figure out ways to cut him off. It's not long before I have him backed up against the back of Bentley's trailer home. He does a stupid dance where he's running back and forth, covering his head. Stop! I stick my tongue out and the side of my muzzle, following him back and forth with the balloon I have cocked behind my head. Hold still! No! He finally curls up into a ball against the house, crouching in the dirt in the blue swimsuit trunks. I stop. Well, it's not fun if you're not going to try and run. He looks up at me between his fingers. You always throw too hard. Well, He suddenly darts to the right, but I'm ready, hurling the balloon right at his back. It doesn't explode though, instead smacking against the spotted back with a wet splat. Ow! He skids to a stop, then immediately bends and scoops up the water in the balloon, gritting at how the tables turned. Uh-oh. But you're an otter. I start jogging towards TJ as TJ heaves back with the balloon, but I don't have anything to worry about. In his excitement, he grips the balloon too hard, and I can see how his claws dimple the rubber before it explodes mid-throw. Water showers his head, and dust kicks up as dark spots speckle the ground, just like his fur, I think. He gasps in a way cats do when they get any water on them, and I point and laugh. I can tell he's deciding whether or not to sulk and cry, and I'm holding my breath because I don't want the game to end. I think I win him over because he smiles and starts to laugh too. That always happens to me. Oh, don't hold it so hard. I wasn't. Yeah, you were. I see TJ's ears perk, and he looks over, towards the front of the house. What? That's when I hear it too. Doing with those water balloons. Don't touch me. I'm not touching you. Just give me the fucking balloons. Clint and Jeremy. Carl must have followed us, and they saw him out the window. Now, Clint, I think that's the person that like is on hard drugs but is still around our age, like the cat. And Jeremy, is he... Oh, I might just take a look, because I already had the wiki of Echo Project up. Jeremy, big A. Yeah, he's the also person that does drugs, but brother of what's her name? Jenna. My guts drop to my feet, and I feel like I'm gonna pee myself. TJ covers his mouth, and I see tears starting to brim in his eyes. I think fast. Gonna run and get Leo. He can help. Before I know it, TJ's tearing across the backyards of the house, up the block where Leo's filling water balloons. At least, that's where I hope he's going. Slowly, I pad around the house, peeking around the corner of the front yard. There's Carl. Carl's standing with his fists clenched, staring at hard, trying to look defiant, but I can tell he's terrified. Multicolored water balloons are scattered around his hooves. He must have been carrying them all in his white tank top. He always wore the shirt when he did water games. What's the matter, cunt face? We're not gonna hurt you. Heh, right. Jeremy laughs stupidly, and Clint, and bends down to pick up the purple water balloon. Clint starts circling around Carl, and the ram follows him with his muzzle, nostrils flaring. As he's looking the other way, Jeremy throws the water balloon at Carl's face. Following the smack of rubber on muzzle, the balloon explodes, showering all three of them in water. Carl whimpers and covers his face. I grip the side of the house, knowing I should do something, but my legs aren't moving. Leave me alone. Carl is doing a good job of not crying, but he's about to. Hey, we're just playing. Clint leans down to pick up another water balloon. That's when Carl makes a break for it, dodging around the bent-over Clint towards the street. Clint's too fast, though, and the ring-tailed cat instantly reaches out and catches Carl by one of his horns. He rides him for a second, jumping on Carl's back, before using his long tail to trip the ram up. Carl lands on his stomach with a loud grunt as Clint sits up on his back onto his horns. Cunt! You stepped on my tail! Clint grabs both of Carl's horns and leans back so far I think I can hear his spine cracking. Carl screams in pain and reaches for his horns. With his face pointed at the sky, I can see tears rolling down his face now. The one eye I can see is open wide, and I think he sees me, but still my legs won't move. Hey! Leo jogs up the street, looking right at Clint. The ringtail sneers, but drops Carl back to the ground, and stands up as Leo gets closer. The fuck you want, Beaner? I think that's for gay people? I'm not sure. That's like before me knowing stuff, I guess. Which is kind of funny because I'm older than these guys. Clint's wary, his casual demeanor more tense now. Then Leo here. I sigh with relief. Carl sits up and quickly rubs his face before standing and running back to the street, his hooves clopping loudly all the way. Leo doesn't even look at him, his eyes on Clint. I said, what do you want? You no understand? Oh! I think that's a slur for, like, people south of the border. Honestly, Leo might not have understood. He's only been here for less than a year. Still, Leo doesn't say anything, his jaw working, and I wonder if he's imagining chewing on Clint's neck. You're freaking crazy. Let's go, Jeremy. Clint's afraid of Leo, and he left us alone ever since the wolf had moved in, at least for the most part. Even though they're both 13, Leo's a head taller and almost twice as wide. Leave them alone. Clint stops. What? Leave them alone. Forever. Clint looks hesitant, obviously not wanting to stay, but unable to leave now that Leo had thrown out a challenge. Not in front of Jeremy. Or what? Or... He thinks for a second. It's not good for you. Painful. I hadn't been paying attention to Jeremy, but I see sudden movement from behind Leo, followed by another smack and splash. Leo arches back, hissing in pain from how hard Jeremy had thrown it. Can you throw a water balloon so hard it hurts? It's a balloon. The wolf whirls around, one paw right in the back, as he stares at Jeremy, who points and laughs. Ha, wetback. I'm just reading the text, YouTube. I'm not being a Republican. He doesn't see Clint running at him from behind. Leo. I hope at his name, and he does turn around, only catch a sucker punch from his stomach. I can hear the thud, along with all the air going out of him, all the way from here. Leo stumbles back and stops, with his paws on his knees, gasping. I wince and cover my eyes, only to pull them back down immediately, and see Jeremy leaping on Leo from behind and bite his ear. Leo screams in pain, but immediately twirls and slams his knee into Jeremy's crotch. Jeremy lets go, and lets out his own scream, which Leo puts an end to when he grabs the fox and swings him around by the shirt. Jeremy's forward momentum is brought to a halt as he slams headfirst into an oak tree. He goes down. Clint's scared, his eyes wide as he looks from Leo to Jeremy to the floor. Leo doesn't give him a chance though, running forward and hitting them with a tackle that slams them both to the ground. I think I hear Clint start to beg, but Leo's fists start raining down his face. This is a long flashback. Now they can hear. All I can hear now are crunchy, fleshy thuds as punch after punch hit Clint's face. And I can hear Leo too. Queres pedlar, no me jodas. Okay, I mean we're over time anyway, so let's just do a translate. Google Translate. Not German. Eris L R No Me Jodas. Means where's my... Oh, no, wait. Do you want to fight? Don't fuck with me. Okay. The sound of Clint makes go from snarling to screaming to gurgling, and I cover my ears because it sounds so terrible. Again, I feel like I should stop this. Leo looks like he's in trance with how focused he is on her and Clint. But again, I'm too terrified. I run in the direction Carl went. I need to tell him I'm sorry. That I should have helped him somehow, but I was so scared. Even though this road doesn't lead to his house, I somehow get there. The sky is red and orange, even though it's noon just a few minutes ago. For some reason, Carl's house is bigger, much bigger than it should be. The architecture is pointier, different. I walk around it slowly, looking for Carl. Looking down, I see hoof prints. They're too big to be Carl's, but I follow them anyway. They lead around the back of the house, right up to the wooden set of cellar doors. I reach out to them, even though I feel something terrible welling up inside my stomach. I pull on them, but they're stuck, as if welded shut somehow. The window wells. A window well next to the doors draws my attention, and I get down on my knees, then my stomach, as I look intently through the window. There are little clear spots in the glass, little paw prints breaking through the layer of old dust. Paw prints of children. The room is almost pitch black, but the red light behind me illuminates some of the cement ground through the windows. Behind the paw prints, I see something long and spindly crawl across the ground. Okay, I was like, how long is this gonna go? Because that was long. And right click brings me back to the previous thing. So, and if this, let's place a comment, cause I like comments, sometimes you like dislike, tips, otherwise. If you like me, YouTube and like secret, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos epic, and please don't be new and most have control of the pet population. Wasn't gonna see anything else. Oh yeah, I was kind of wanting to boop over like, okay, what would be the thing that is the bad ending for Carl? Because I guess I did check on like Discord. It was like, hey, is there bad ending for Carl? And it's like, yes, there is. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, how much extra is this? Because when it came to the bad ending in the smoke room for Nick, it was like an extra episode, you know? So, and this, let's right. I said comment, Spain, your most. And if you want to play this game, available free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game and get the news version earlier, then you can go to the Patreon, where it's $3 a month. And new version for other games, not this one because it's finished. And until next time, it's me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. So thanks and see ya.